Hello, sorry I didn't see you there. Have you come for my review? Oh, let's get started then. As you've probably inferred from the title, today I'm going to be reviewing Season XVI of Doctor Who, also known as Season 16 and The Key to Time. After serving as producer for his first season, Season 15, Graham Williams decided he wanted to try something different, and thus we have the first proper Doctor Who story arc ever. The reason it's not the first Doctor Who story arc ever and just the first proper Doctor Who story arc was because there was, obviously the ongoing arc of Nerva Beacon in Season 12, although I'm fairly sure that was just for cost-cutting reasons and hardly formed any real plot points during the stories. And of course there's Season 8's Master arc, although personally I wouldn't call that a recurring theme, I would call that making the villain part of the main cast. So, I'm going to be doing 6 to 7 reviews, studying each story in Season 16, and maybe a final 7th review studying the arc on its own. For all of you who are familiar with The Key to Time, and have read the title of this review, you will know which story in The Key to Time arc I'm going to be reviewing today. It is, of course... Sorry, I'll just do a grand reveal. The Ribos Operation. Note I have, I think it's the Australian edition. Cost me a lot of money, this. Yes, we're going to be looking at the Ribos Operation today. The Ribos Operation was written by Robert Holmes, my favourite writer for Doctor Who. He wrote many stories from 1968 to 1986, right up until he died. And he is also the inventor of the Autons and the Sontarans. This story picks up right after the invasion of time. Leela and K9 Mark I have departed the TARDIS to stay on Gallifrey. But luckily, the Doctor has had a K9 Mark II all along, so our favourite robot dog is not lost to us yet. The Doctor is travelling with only K9 for company when the TARDIS is pulled off course and summoned by the White Guardian, who is a force for good in the universe and a parallel opposite to the Black Guardian, a force for bad in the universe. The White Guardian has summoned the Doctor to help him assemble the Key to Time, a perfect cube and the most powerful weapon. It has been broken up into 6 different segments scattered across the universe and disguised as different things. He warns him that the Black Guardian is also after the key. This is why he must track down all the pieces and assemble them before the Black Guardian does. So, the White Guardian has been introduced. We have the new theme for the series running about the quest for the Key to Time, introduced in the first 5 minutes. Now, the Doctor goes back in his TARDIS to find his new companion and assistant, Romana, or...
Romana Dvorakna Lunda.
Yeah, let's just stick with Romana. Or Fred.
Alright, call me Fred.
This Romana would be the first, played by Mary Tam, and would go on to regenerate at the beginning of next season into Lala Ward. I like Mary Tam, she's a good character, and immediately Romana and the Doctor have a lot of chemistry. And although they're sort of rivals in a way, she's a different type of companion. She's not the companion that follows him around, asks him questions. She seems to know what she's doing, but she's also inexperienced with the universe, unlike the Doctor. After Romana presents the Doctor with the tracer...
I was told to give you this.
What's this?
According to my instructions, it's the core to the Key of Time.
That will make a weird noise when you point it in the right direction of the segment of the Key to Time.
Through there. It's a strong signal.
But it must be plugged in to the hole in the TARD.
Oh, that's clever. That's very clever. Ah! 4180.
Once it's been plugged into the hole in the TARDIS will then lock onto the coordinates of the first segment, which happens to be on Ribos. Well, or Ribos. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this guy might.
Ribos!
Before the Doctor and Romana arrive on Ribos, we are shown 2 other characters. Unstoff, a sort of apprentice, in a sense, a sort of apprentice hustler, a galactic hustler, to Garen. Now, I enjoyed these two characters. They're two of my favourite. They were very well developed, actually. Well, sort of. Unstoff, I enjoyed a lot. And they had a lot of lines. And that's one of the great things about Robert Holmes' story, is he introduces new characters and he makes you want to see more of them. And actually, for the first 2 episodes, the Doctor and Romana don't do a whole lot. Although what they do is very good. And actually, this story contains some of my favourite Tom Baker moments ever.
The secret of survival is always to expect the unexpected. Ow!
Oh, I think this is to stop animals wandering into the city at night. There's a cocking lever there just below the keystone.
Yes. I wondered if you noticed that. That's good. That's very good. Very good.
If you didn't like that, well, you're evidently not a Tom Baker fan. Anyway, these two characters are trying to pull a scam on the Graf Vindicate, a corrupt war hero who lost his monarch ship or whatever on the planet Levithian, I think. Levithian. Are trying to scam him into buying the planet Ribos. Of course, they don't actually own the planet, but still, they're trying to sell it to him. Now, this story has an interesting theme. It doesn't actually have any monsters, really, as the enemy. In fact, it only has one monster at all, and that is the Shrivenzal, a weird crocodile-like creature. Now, this is one of the things I like about this story. It has many new characters that we've never met before. It has 2 scammers. It has, you know, a great war hero. It's just different, and the way he's written the characters, Robert Holmes, and the way they're done is very good. You've kind of even though you've only just met them, you start to really like the characters, and you want to see more of them. And there's some fantastic acting. You know, it's really surprising. I mean, you know, we had some fantastic actors like Ian Cuthbertson as Garen.
Oh, a long time ago. I was just an ambitious boy in those days, taking my first steps in life. Then I had a bit of trouble with a dissatisfied client who thought it best to leave.
Really? What happened?
He was an Arab. I sold him Sydney Harbour for $50 million. Yeah, and then he thought I should throw in this opera house as well.
No.
Oh, yes.
The opera house.
Yeah, the opera house, but I refused. I mean, one must have some scruples, mustn't one?
Nigel Plaskett as Unstoff.
Murderers.
Oh, now, don't be a fool. Don't be a fool.
Murderers.
Unstoff, don't... Unstoff. Unstoff. Over here, hurry.
Binro said the roof wasn't safe.
Guard! The Jeffrick!
Yeah,
No, unstoff!
And of course we had Paul Seed as the Graf Vindicate.
All the rest are dead now. Even Sharlak. Were you with me on Scarn, soldier?
No, sir.
So many battles. Scarn, the Freighter's Labyrinth, Crestus Mine, and now there was a fight. I remember Sharlak planting my standard in the very heart of the Creston General. So many battles. So many years. But over now. All but one of us doomed to die, soldier.
I mean, just some amazing acting for this story in general. So, closing comments on this story. It's a very, very, very good story. It gels well, exceedingly well, with the plot of the series. As in, a lot of it just clicks. It works exceedingly well. You know, like, you watch this story, and you watch the whole season of The Key to Time, then you go back and watch the story, and you realise how good it is. Because when I first saw it, I was quite young, and I wasn't really thinking about all this. But now I rewatched, I've realised how amazing it actually is. And so, I'm going to give this story a 9.5 out of 10. Because it is just possibly one of the best stories ever. The only thing that brings it down a tiny bit from getting 10 maybe is the Shrivenzal. It doesn't look realistic enough, but that could just be the time true. So actually I'm going to give it a 9.25 just to make it difficult for you. Okay, this is Zack HGS signing off.